Good morning, third graders. Today we're going to be reading this book called Keep Your Ear on the Ball by Genevieve Petrillo. The reason why it's saying keep your ear on the ball because this is Davy. He's actually blind. This is based on a true story. This author, Genevieve Petrillo, she had Davy in her classroom probably about 40 years or so ago. And Davy is a very independent student who does not like getting help very much from his classmates. He's very independent. So how many of you ever wanted to do something completely on your own, but somebody really wanted to help you? Yes? Does anyone want to give some examples? Cooking dinner? Cooking dinner, okay. Any other examples? Yes.
Doing the dishes.
Doing dishes. You want to do that by yourself sometimes? Okay.
Making a campfire.
Making a campfire? Okay. Anybody else? Okay. So it's okay that people want to help us sometimes, but why might it be good to do things on our own here and there? Yes.
So we can learn.
So we can learn. It can be a good learning experience. Is anybody else?
So we can be more independent.
More independent. Yep, that's kind of how Daisy is. Daisy's very independent. So before we get started, there's 3 words that you're going to want to be familiar with. The first one is Braille. I actually have a picture here of the Braille alphabet. It's a form of writing in which the characters are raised dots that blind students can run their fingers over. It's very useful for them instead of actually being able to see the words. So that kind of gives us an idea as to what Braille writer might be. It's actually kind of like a typewriter for students who are blind, and they can feel the keys and then type. So it just be like their form of kind of keyboarding a little bit. The final word is fizzled. You can say that something kind of fizzled out, which means it came to an abrupt or disappointing end. So those are some words you're going to want to keep in mind. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And something you're going to hear Dave say a lot is thanks but no thanks when his classmates ask for help. So I'm going to hold my hand out like this, and when I do that, I want you all to say thanks but no thanks. Keep Your Ear on the Ball by Genevieve Petrillo. Davy looked like every other new kid that ever came into our class. Miss Madison walked him in and said, "Boys and girls, this is Davy." He was medium height, he had medium brown hair, and medium brown eyes. A regular kid. Davy looked up at Miss Madison. "Mind if I look around? Let me show you to your seat first." She walked him to a desk in the first row, right next to me. Davy dropped his book bag on his desk and walked back to the door. We all watched as he touched the door frame and the teacher's desk. Then he walked along the bookshelf that went to the back of the room. He ran his hand over the writer center, touched the coat room doors, the fishbowl, and the library shelf. He followed the front blackboard till he got to his row and sat in his seat, moving his book bag to the floor under his desk. He turned to me and said, "It's awfully quiet. Is everybody staring? I'm blind. I'm not an alien." That was how we met Davy. Davy did everything we did. When we read our books, he read his Braille books. When we wrote, he wrote on his Braille writer. He was a great listener and raised his hand a lot to answer questions. "I'm Peter," I said, lining up behind him for lunch. "Want to hold on to my hand on the way to the cafeteria?"
Thanks, but no thanks.
He followed the line and somehow found a seat at our lunch table. In the cafeteria, everybody wanted to help Davy. "Let me open that," Susan said. "Want to throw away your garbage? Should I get you a straw?" Davy said,
Thanks, but no thanks.
at least 100 times. After lunch, Davy came outside with our class to the kickball field. He stood with the rest of the kids as Colin and I chose teams. He was the first one I picked. "I'll take Davy." After we finished choosing up sides, Davy went out into the field and stayed out of everybody's way. When it was his turn to kick, Davy missed the pitch a million times, and some kids started complaining that he was taking too long. Amanda said, Davy, do you want me to tell you when to kick?
Thanks, but no thanks.
He finally kicked a foul, but he ran toward first base anyway, knocking William down along the way and missing first base by a mile. Colin took William to the nurse. After that, the game fizzled out. As we walked into our classroom, I asked, "Do you want me to put your lunchbox away, Davy?"
Thanks, but no thanks.
Little by little, we all stopped asking Davy if he needed help. We were tired of hearing,
Thanks, but no thanks.
most of the time, he was fine on his own. Watching him walk around the classroom and through the hallways, it was almost like he could see. He sang with us in music class and made projects with us in arts. But on the playground, it was a different story. "Can I kick for you, Davy?" Jason asked.
Thanks, but no thanks.
"I can hold your hand when you run," Amanda suggested.
Thanks, but no thanks.
After a while, neither captain wanted Davy on his or her team. "You take him," Davy whispered. "I had him yesterday. You take him." Davy settled it. "I'm blind. I'm not deaf." He stormed across the playground and sat on the steps near the door. "Now look what you did," Amanda said. "You're mean." "Why don't you let us help him?" Colin said. "He can't see the ball, he can't see the base, and he won't let us do anything for him. I told him I would kick for him. I offered to hold his hand and run with him." Wait a minute, guys. That's it. He doesn't want us to do things for him. He wants to be able to do things for himself. He can't see. How can he play kickball? How can he do anything? He hears and he feels. He does everything by sound and touch. I have an idea. The next day, we ate lunch fast, eager to get outside. Colin picked Davy first on his team. When Davy got up to kick, we were ready. Amanda blew a whistle. Everybody stopped talking and stood still. Before I pitched, I called, "Here it comes, Davy. Keep your ear on the ball." I bounced the pitch, and in the silence, we could clearly hear what Davy heard as the ball headed his way. We all wanted to yell when he kicked it, but we didn't. William was standing behind first base. "First base, Davy! First base! First base!" Davy ran straight toward his boys and knew from the sound when to stop. When Davy was safe at first, William moved to second base, and we all yelled and cheered like we just won the World Series, till Amanda blew the whistle. Davy made it to third base before he was tagged out heading home. Davy came up to us with a smile. "I'll do better next time. Next time, I'm going all the way." "Do you want to wear the whistle, Davy?" asked Amanda. "You can blow it whenever you need to keep your ear on the ball." "Thanks, but..." "Thanks, Amanda. Thanks."